All right, let's do it. You're watching Golden State Warriors today by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. A loaded show on tap for you all today. We'll get to Rudy Gobert and the rumors about the Warriors being interested in trading for him after this year. But we have a breaking news item to get to because it looks as though Steph Curry, coming off that foot injury that he suffered back in March, is on track to play in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs in the first round against the Denver Nuggets. Shams Charania, just a little while ago on Twitter, said this in addition to this report was also Anthony Slater on it. Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry is on track to make his return in Game 1 versus the Nuggets on Saturday, as long as he clears the team's scrimmage today without any issues. So if you're excited for Steph Curry to return to the floor, we're talking about one of the best players of all time, the best player in the history of the Golden State Warriors. Hit that thumbs up icon and like the video because the Warriors have sorely missed him and they need him if they have any hopes of making a deep playoff run. Now you take a look at the Steph Curry timeline. Last played on the 16th of March against the Boston Celtics. There was that fluky, borderline dirty play when Marcus Smart had dove into him for a loose ball, and because of that, Curry got rolled up on, suffered that foot injury, hasn't played since then. He was seen in a walking boot for a little while on the Warriors sideline and on the Warriors bench. Set to scrimmage today, and as long as everything goes swimmingly with Steph Curry playing in that scrimmage, because he has not scrimmaged or played with his teammates, all he's really done up to this point is just do shooting drills, then he will be back on Saturday night in front of a sold-out Chase Center in San Francisco. Now, the Dubs' playoff hopes certainly hinge on the health of Steph Curry. He has to be right, or at least close to being right, his 100% health, if the Warriors have any hopes of making it through the gauntlet of the Western Conference playoffs. Atop the conference, it's the Phoenix Suns, who had a historic franchise season. Right below the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference standings and that 2 seed, the upstart Memphis Grizzlies. And you're like, oh, the Grizzlies, they're really good and great with Ja Morant, right? Well, even without Ja Morant, they went something like 20-2, 21-2. So they're deep, they're versatile, they're athletic, and then the Warriors are in that 3 spot in the West. So this is a conference that top to bottom is very, very competitive, and the Warriors are a good basketball team without Steph Curry. They can be a great basketball team with Steph Curry. So here's hoping that Steph will be all right throughout this playoff run, and he'll be at least close to himself. Now, the numbers that Steph Curry put up last year when he was the NBA scoring champion compared to this year are pretty interesting and fascinating for a couple of reasons. The numbers in terms of his scoring and scoring percentages are down pretty dramatically from a year ago when, after the All-Star break, we saw an all-time run from Steph. Last year, led the league in scoring at 32 points per game, less than 6 times, 5.5 boards per night. He shot an astounding, and I mean astounding, when you consider the volume, 48% from the hardwood and 42% from beyond the arc. This year, though, the number's down by about 7 points from 32 to 25.5. The assists are up. I think this has been one of the best passing seasons of his career. He's been a good rebounder, very close to last year. His defense was ratcheted up this year, in my opinion, but he only shot less than 44% from the floor, down 4+ percentage points, and he was also down 4 percentage points from downtown as well. Now, a big reason for that is because Steph Curry certainly had a different role in 2021 and 2022 as compared to the role that he had last year. This year's team, it's better, it's deeper. The roster is much more well-rounded, and it's equipped to make a deep playoff run. Last year, the Warriors went down in the play-in tournament, and they asked solely of Steph Curry to score, and do a lot of scoring. This year, though, he's deferred more. He hasn't had as many shot opportunities because he hasn't been asked to be that high-volume scorer that he was a year ago. Big reason for that, the team is just better. They're a little bit deeper, and because of that, Steph Curry hasn't had to be the only scoring option night in and night out. And honestly, for the sake of his career lasting a long while, it's probably good that some offensive weight was taken off of his shoulders. We'll get to Rudy Gobert here in just a few moments, but first, I want to ask you a question here on Golden State Warriors today because I love hearing all of your feedback, especially those of you watching in the Philippines. We took a look at the analytics. People from the Philippines, they always show up and show out watching all of our Warriors content. Appreciate all of you. But first, answer this question. Warriors will beat the Nuggets in blank games. Fill in the blank for me. And on the other side, right around the corner, we will dive into these Rudy Gobert rumors about the Warriors being interested in trading for the Utah Jazz big man. Really excited to dive into that topic here on Warriors Today. First, though, because the NBA playoffs are about to happen and ensue in the next couple of days because the NBA play-in tournament currently in session. Here are the Western Conference title odds. Phoenix Suns plus 115, Golden State Warriors 5-1 odds. A big part of that, Steph Curry probably going to be healthy because of Luka Doncic's injury. The Dallas Mavericks have dropped down to 10-1 odds behind the Grizzlies at 6-1, Utah Jazz at 12-1. If you want to get your bets in and lay some money down and be a man, you can do so thanks to our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Kevin Harlan, by the way, one of the GOAT announcers. That's where that came from. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. You plug in that link in that promo code, you get money back just for signing up so you can make your bets. Some really intriguing, fascinating, weird, crazy, and juicy Warriors rumors are next up on today's show. According to NBA insider Sean Devaney, the Warriors could make a run this offseason at Rudy Gobert if the Utah Jazz decide to blow it up. Now, there have been rumors circulating about Donovan Mitchell, their star scoring guard, wanting out of Utah even though he just signed that monster contract extension. There's word, there's talk, there's chatter that Donovan Mitchell wants to go play for the New York Knicks. His father, a former Major League Baseball player, currently working for the New York Mets. And there's also been some rumblings about Quin Snyder, the current head coach for Utah, maybe being a candidate for the Los Angeles Lakers head coaching job to take over for Frank Vogel. So if the Utah Jazz decide to blow it up, maybe Rudy Gobert, with his contract that we'll break down here momentarily, will get traded. And if he does, guess who could have interest? The Golden State Warriors. Western Conference anonymous executive said this recently: if Rudy Gobert becomes available this summer, I think you'd find a lot of those veterans with the Warriors being the team that might want to make a run at Rudy Gobert. And we've known this about the current roster construction for the Warriors. The Dubs need a big man, and they need a big man desperately. Now, maybe that's on the way next year with James Wiseman, who the Dubs took at number 2 in the 2020 NBA draft. I like the young talent on this team with Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody, but in the front court, they're bereft of depth at that center position. They only have Kevon Looney, really. I think Nemanja Bjelica is more of a stretch forward. Draymond Green, he's already dealing with that back injury. You don't want him to get too beat up playing the bulk of the center minutes. So could the Warriors be in on Rudy Gobert to fill that center void? We're going to continue to get to that and break all of that down, all of the implications that would come and his fit on this Warriors roster. But first, want to get that comment section popping once more. What is your level of interest in Gobert? I want you to scale it for me in the comment section from 1 to 10. We really do value all of your responses here at Chat Sports. 1, not interested at all. 10, all in on trying to make a trade. Over the last 5 years, Rudy Gobert has emerged as one of the best centers in the history of the NBA. And the fact that he's still as relevant as he is and as impactful as he is, given the current construct of the league and the playing style that's so popular in the NBA, is very important. You look at his numbers the last 5 years from 2017 to 2022, it's been one of the best centers in the league. Almost 15 points per game, 13 rebounds, so he's a walking double-double, north of 2 blocks per night as well, and a little less than a steal per game. This is one of the premier defenders in the NBA, 5-time NBA Defensive First Team, 3-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year. When we're talking about Rudy Gobert, his length, his size, it's straight up stupid. 7'1", that's where he stands, with a 7'7" wingspan. Now, in the playoffs, he can get picked apart coming off that pick and roll, especially when he has to go up against some pick and pop centers who can let it fly from deep, and some athletic centers who can dribble blow by Rudy Gobert. But when he's around the rim, when he's in the paint, he causes a lot of havoc with his ability to block shots and just cause havoc on that end of the floor. And then on the offensive end of the floor, can you imagine Rudy Gobert being in a pick and roll with Steph Curry and the shot opportunities that could create for both Steph, Klay Thompson, and then if you have Rudy Gobert on the low block, Draymond Green in the high post, little pick and pop for him, a pick and roll for him, or he sets a screen, he gets a pass, and he's able to outlet it to the shooters, Jay Poole, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, or drop it down low for Rudy Gobert on either a bounce pass or an alley-oop. Like, the offensive options are certainly there. I think Rudy Gobert a little bit overrated on the defensive end, but he's certainly an impact player, and if you put him on the Warriors, it would make this roster really, really good and tantalizing on both sides of the floor. The only problem with Rudy Gobert, it is his contract. Very expensive following that contract extension that he recently signed. This year, he was right in the neighborhood of $38 million, which is what he is set to earn next year. In 2023-2024, it goes up to $41, followed by nearly $44 million annually. And then 2025-2026, the final year of his contract, he's making almost $47 million. So you'd probably have to offload a James Wiseman and or an Andrew Wiggins in order to make that contract work. Those financial implications and ramifications would certainly come into play if you want to trade for Gobert, the Frenchman. What would you do with Gobert? If you're Bob Myers, you're running the front office for Golden State, are you wheeling and dealing? Are you staying put? Would you rather go with another big? T for trade, P for pass. If you want another big, give me a name in the comment section. Appreciate all of you for watching today's show, and don't forget to subscribe.